Okay, hello everyone, Random Gamer Ribbon here. Yeah, I just realised that myself, Nico, just as you said, and hi Nico. I literally realised that I had still had it left quiet from the previous stream, the Gundam stream that we'd muted everything on. So yes, I don't need to mute everything in this stream. We can actually have the music for Lunar Silver Star Story, or effectively this is Silver Star Harmony, which is just a remake, the second remake of Silver Star Story, which is one of probably the most important RPGs released during the sort of mid-90s. So hopefully that's not too loud. Hopefully you can hear me and the game. From what I understand, this is based on the Saturn and PS1 remake, but it's basically a complete graphical overhaul. But in terms of gameplay, the story changes from the remake of the PS1 and Saturn's versions in this one. The one thing this adds extra, which I know from the very start when I played, is it adds slightly weird. In fact, you'll see it right from the very start, because it adds in a prologue battle, where basically we get an all-new prologue battle where we do battle with the boss that's sort of mentioned at the start and the sort of lore. So we now get to do basically what is effectively a battle from the past. Basically, you get a pre-story battle where you play as the historical characters. But before I begin, hello, my name is Random Gamer Ribbon, and I am the host for this randomised gaming stream. Hello to regular commentator Nico. Always good to see people on the stream. Thanks very much. So yes, this is Lunar Silver Star Harmony, or Lunar Harmony Silver Star Story it was called in Japan. I'm not sure why they changed Silver Star Story to Harmony. It doesn't quite... It's Silver Star Story. So this is the 2009 PSP remake. It was developed by Games Arts and done by the original... So Games Arts were the original developer of both the original Mega CD, Sega CD version, and then the Sega Saturn and PS1 version. And then they later did this version. So original character design, Toshiyuki Kubuku. And then the 90s. They actually credited the 1996 remake as well. Kawakuya Shogun Shooten Publishing Co. Limited. So yeah, you got actually that copyright covers all three releases of it. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the game. So we'll get started. And there'll be a little introduction before we do the introductory story battle.
Goddess Alfina, for far too long, you alone have stood as the master of this world. It is at this time indeed that the world awaits a new god, and I shall be that god, and rule this world.
Eiffel, you mustn't cast your humanity aside. For it is the bonds of the human heart alone which are this world's...
Alfina, ruler of the Silver Star. Those are the empty words of one who holds absolute power within their grasp. You fail to understand the depth of human greed.
It may be so. Yet it is this which I do understand. The strength which comes from the hearts of those who do believe. And I, for one, believe in that potential.
Ah, is that so? And then what? What has this belief brought you? As of this moment, you are my prisoner. And your precious Dragon Master is nowhere to be found. No human possesses the ability to approach this undersea fortress, the Leviathan. Your rule is over.
You are wrong. This world shall not fail. It shall not.
Then believe what you will as you fade to nothing. in the flames of the Phenaceron. At last, the time has finally come. The time in which I shall become the god of this world. Oh, 5 princes of the Black Star, heeding our covenant, I offer unto you the power of Althena. The entirety of her magic.
I won't let you! Sorry to have kept you waiting, Eiffel.
It's time to return the goddess.
Dragon Master!
I hope you haven't forgotten about us.
Watch out! Please move!
Get your fat butt off me!
How rude! My behind is hardly... I am appalled by the language you're using. I shall report this to your wife, Larina.
Please, I beg you, anything but that.
Lamia? Mel? How can this be? The both of you were most certainly dead.
I'm not dead till I'm 6 feet under!
No matter the means, it's impossible to reach this place dead or alive.
Don't forget who you're dealing with, Eiffel. Actually, this was Mike's doing, so we do owe him a bit of a favor.
A bit? I'm going to be the one picking up the pieces once this is said and done. How many times have I said think first, then act?
Sorry about that.
Dine, look out!
Nice try.
How long will you continue to stand in my way, Dragon Master?
As long as you keep continuing to go down the wrong path.
Except this shall be your last. O 5 princes of the Black Star, revenge shall be ours. Fill your vessel with the power of a god.
Let us grant this desire. Yea, let it be done. Will this not lack somewhat in its appeal?
Nay, it shall be amusing in its own right.
The destruction of men at the hands of one another is our sole desire. Take up thine arms and fight, humans!
Oh, absolutely magnificent. So this is the power of a god.
Can't be. This power is...
Without a doubt, it's Althena's power.
What the hell? I am uncertain, but perhaps this is the...
This time, I shall put an end to you, once and for all.
Okay, so that was the end of the first cutscene. There is some, how to say, unnecessary humour in that opening section. It comes across, you know, this is a climactic battle and we have some... I do like humour in stuff. You should always have humour in stuff, but it just feels a bit Saturday morning's cartoon humour that just doesn't quite ring true. You could have the odd joke, like when she lands on him, but even then I felt the way he's something like, don't tell the wife. There's a little bit silly. The voice acting is clearly sort of those cheap rate actors you get as well. They were basically just any old kid off the street. I mean, oddly enough, I did work when I was doing back in the games industry. A couple of people just did voice acting as their side job. Some of the people you met who actually worked in the industry, and I realised none of them could really do it very well, but they got paid to do it, so why not? So this battle is purely you've got to win it type scenario. I'm not a huge fan of these types of battles. And basically this starting one, we just unleash havoc with all, so he's going to restore HP, incineration attack, tornado, one ally restore HP, all allies restore HP, full quake. Hi Miguel, thanks for joining the stream tonight. I'm fine, thank you, Miguel. We're just streaming the remake of Lunar Silver Star Story on PSP, and thanks for joining the stream. So yeah, it does feel a bit odd, the fact you're thrust suddenly. So Lunar, so another game that does this is Lufia as well. Quite a few games tend to like having a prequel battle, but as you say, Naiko, you're often thrust into a scenario where you don't know the characters, you don't know, it's just like, okay, hang on, this is the past heroes. So in this case, in Lunar's case, it was a bit weird because the fact that people are very familiar with the game already. Yeah, probably was a bit to sort of do something a bit different, seeing as, like you say, this is like the third. Now, I've already done this battle. I probably should have actually had... Okay, I've had a bit of faux pas there. The girl has gone down, and I shouldn't have lost her so quick, but she's the main healer, so... PC, GBA, yeah, there's a GBA version as well. I know there was a follow-up on DS, although that's not the original. Yeah, I've not played the GBA one. We'll have to see when that was actually released on GBA. They did a follow-up on DS. There's Lufia 1, 2, and then there's a few sort of odd versions. They never quite did a proper Lufia 3, but I suppose arguably you could argue the Grandia series was basically a follow-on Yeah, which is what it was primarily. So this is one of those you can't really lose battles, as of course this is a prequel historic. But again, things like the experience points and the golds are all a bit useless. And yeah, it does feel a bit weird. We're suddenly thrust into understanding some historical characters.
This can't be! How can I be defeated?
Without further ado, we're here to reclaim Althena.
Yeah, the DS one is
You!
not great, but it's not terrible. It's not as bad as people made out.
Such is the human vessel, too fragile to harness the power of Althena.
I concur. Yet, notwithstanding, a sufficient vessel for our own advent.
Yea, let us make haste, for I desire a body wherewith to trample, destroy, and sow the seeds of terror.
Now, I command you! Yield thine body, human!
What is this? No! Stay back! Get away from me!
Eiffel, no.
So you've finally thrown away your humanity. You're a bigger fool than I thought. The 5 princes of the Black Star have descended using the power of Althena? Leave nothing to chance. This thing now possesses the power of a god. It's more formidable than anything we've ever encountered.
You can't be a real man if you're afraid to take risks.
Ha! That's just the kind of manly line I'd expect out of you at a time like this, Dine.
Real man, huh?
For one who's nothing more than a petty servant of Althena, thou darest to deride a god dragon master. Foolish mortal, thou shalt feel our wrath. Tremble in fear, humans. Kneel to thy new god. Then perish. What can this be? A song? Could this voice belong to Althena? And yet, I can feel no power in this sound. That is to be expected, as we have taken her power unto ourselves. A futile attempt at nothing. What meaning doth an empty song such as this bear?
There's a typo there. That's the wrong bear. It should be B-A-R-E. They've got bear as in grizzly bear animal there. So straight off, someone. Yes, songs such as this bear. No, there's not bear as in bear. It's bear as in bear. They've got the wrong bear there. So bear, yeah, that's bear as in the animal bear.
It's not empty.
That's right. It's the song Althena sang as she journeyed beside us.
Teaching us that the joy and sadness of our world. And all its people's hopes and dreams are found within the melody.
As she has ceaselessly watched over us with infinite compassion.
Althena's true and undying love for this world and for all of her people. That is the meaning of this song. For as long as Althena believes in her people, we shall never suffer defeat. Now let us fight!
Gladly!
Yes!
Indeed!
Your pathetic nature is unrivaled. Now meet your eternal demise, humans!
Yeah, this game probably uses American English, but as UK English is the superior English, they should always be using that, really. But no, in terms of UK English, it was spelt wrong. They had bear as in grizzly bear instead of bear as in I bear witness to the truth, or as in a ref. Okay, so here we go with the sort of super boss you've got to finish off. Again, you have all these overpowered. So I'm just going to use all the overpowered attacks just to literally finish off all the enemies. So I think yeah, this would be American English, I suspect. This is the PAL version, but it's probably using the American. We see them already finishing off a few of the sort of demon princes or whatever they're called, the dark spirits. I think we'll get most. Yeah. You basically just do a tactic of have 3 of your characters attack and 1 of them heal. I should say in Europe this only got a digital release, so, and I believe it was published directly by Games Arts, who basically just published the American version. This did not get a physical release in Europe in PAL. It's only available digitally by the store. PSN store, you can still buy it on the PSN store, so if you fancy playing this, you can still pick it up, although you will need a PS3 or PS Vita to buy it now, as you can't access the store from the PSP. In fact, it's been that way for a long time. You have to access it via... There's not actually much point in just doing stand. You might as well just do the all out. Yeah, From Software the same, but they published the stuff digitally on the PSP, which is interesting. So there were a couple of... You've got to remember, digital content allowed publishers to, or developers to publish their content in a region that you wouldn't be able to secure a publishing deal. So From Software weirdly published the games officially. It may have been a Sony thing in conjunction, but they may have done it as a silent publishing. But officially, it's done down as Games Art, and From Software published their own stuff on the PSP in the digital store. Do the same. I think we've nearly got him. Yeah, From Software published the Armour Core games digitally. If you look it up in the store, they published them digitally, officially. They're the publishers for their... They made the 3 Armour Core games. So there's Armour Core Last Raven Portable, Armour Core Silent Line Portable, and Armour Core Formula 3 Portable. I think they did some Portable Kingsfield games as well, but they didn't get published because they didn't get an English translation. Now, visually, this is an interesting one. Some people may prefer the new style. I kind of prefer the actual visuals from the original Mega CD game, if I'm being honest, and the Saturn and PS1 remake. I'm not a fan of the PSP visuals. I don't think they look quite as good as the Saturn visuals. It might be because of how they're displayed on the PSP, but I think visually, I mean, it's still a nice... They've definitely redone the visuals in a different art style, but I think I slightly prefer the original art style, although it's still very close to the original game. So that's the opening tutorial section. It's a bit of a long-winded battle for a sort of winnable... guaranteed winnable battle, I will admit. I'm just going to let this bit play out so we get the intros and everything, and then we can get started into the actual game. As I said, this bit is an exclusive prologue that was only added in for the PSP version.
Althena!
Oh, Althena! I'm glad that you're safe.
We have come for you, Althena.
Althena, as you know, I'm overjoyed to hear your lovely voice again.
And I yours.
Goddess Althena. The power maintaining this world's balance has begun to run out of control. It's only a matter of time till the Black Star collides with this world, destroying us all.
All is not lost.
But...
Dine, I'm afraid there is one thing that Eiffel spoke of, which was indeed true. For too many ages have I...
You need not say it.
Dine. I will do what must be done. I shall proceed to the Goddess Tower in order to protect this world.
Are you saying there's still a way to avert this crisis?
Yes.
Then we shall provide your escort.
Hurry, Althena. Vane can't hold off the Black Star alone.
Let us make haste.
It is not over, Galleon. For I shall prophesy unto you, just as I now sit in ruin, so shall be your fate.
Fool.
Yes, cue ominous ending there. I suppose this is all going to be linked into the later story, and it kind of, if you've played the game before, I can understand perhaps why they might have done it, but it does feel a bit contrived because it slightly, I think, spoils the plot of the. I think it was an unnecessary prologue they added in for this. But I suppose it also gives fans who wanted to be there. So I'm kind of a little bit on the fence because I've never really... Although I've played the Saturn's version, I've briefly played the sort of Mega CD version, but not much. Or should I say, briefly seen the Mega CD version. I haven't really played it. But it's one of those ones where I did feel that the Saturn's version's a really good update on the Mega CD one. I think the Saturn's version was very much a direct sort of update, whereas this one does add in a bit more additional content, and it's interesting to see. But I'm just not sure whether it was the right content to add. So yes, we get this weird prequel, and then it suddenly jumps. It just feels a bit unnecessary because Lunar and Alex are really young children, and then we suddenly jump to when they sort of the start of the actual original game, and it feels like there's been a bit of a jump. It just feels like this is perhaps a slightly unnecessary prologue still.
How long it's been since the dream of adventure came to fill my mind.
And here we go with the start of the original game, I believe. I think this is the opening section, but it's a little weird. I have a feeling that the way the story goes, I think Lunar and Alex are the resuscitation of Dyne and Athena, something like that. They're reborn. I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I believe Lunar is the resuscitation of the goddess. I'm not entirely sure if you are Dyne or if Dyne does appear in it.
Adventure. And Dragon Master Dyne, who fought so valiantly to protect the goddess Althena.
But the voice acting in this version is not great. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Though the standard sort of, we don't have a lot of money, so we'll get some cheap kids to do the voice acting.
I wonder if Dyne stood here before setting off on his own adventures. One day, I too hope to heed the call of the wind, beckoning me to the lands beyond, to where my own adventures await.
Alex! Alex! Are you up here?
Oh, hey there, Nal.
What do you mean, oh, hey there? What's wrong? Are you deaf or something? I've been calling around for you everywhere. I should have known you'd be up here.
You found me, Nal.
In honor of the great Dragon Master Dyne. You've always looked up to Dyne ever since you were just a little kid, haven't you, Alex? But I'm amazed that you never get tired of coming to stare at this thing. Oh, shoot. I just remembered that we have to meet Luna for practice, and if we show up late, you know what'll happen. She'll be mad.
Exceeders Johnny Jung Bosch on speed dial. Is that one of the voice actors' names? I must admit, I don't pay attention when it's sort of low rate, subpar voice actors. I generally just don't really pay too much attention to them because a lot of them are sort of jobbing actors. I mean, fair play. I appreciate they may not be given much time to do it, but just a lot of them just aren't very good, and they kind of spoil the ambience a little. I'm not a keen fan of fantasy games being dubbed over American accents, but it's not too bad. But they've definitely dubbed this like it's a Saturday morning cartoon. Now, one of the weird facts is the fact you're sitting at Dyne's grave. Because this is how the original game started, it makes sense that you're reminiscing. In the original game, we don't know the backstory, so therefore it's fine that you're reminiscing over an old hero's grave saying, I want to go out on an adventure. Because we now have the backstory in this one, there's a blank left in the player's perspective if you're a new player who hasn't perhaps spent as much time with the Lunar series as I have as to what's happened to Dyne in between. Why haven't they mentioned why is Dyne actually dead? Is this just a mock grave? Or was he killed in some battle? Hi Shirt, welcome back to the stream. We just missed you the last half of the weekend, but always glad to see you coming back. Holy buckets! Yes, some interesting dialogue.
Hey, Alex, I thought you might be up here. You'll never guess what happened. Those heaping mounds of ice that were blocking the entrance to the White Dragon Cave have finally melted away. If we hurry, we can probably sneak in past the dragon. This could be our big chance! I bet we have a shot at getting one of those legendary dragon diamonds, like the ones we've been hearing about in the tales of the Dragon Masters!
I believe those animated cutscenes are actually taken from the PS1 Sega Saturn remake, probably the PS1 version or the Sega Saturn Complete version, because weirdly there's actually two versions on the Saturn. There's the normal version, and then there's the Sega Saturn Complete. So there's Lunar Silver Star Story, the remake. I believe they did it in this order. They released the remake on Games Art in Japan, released the remake on Saturn, then released the remake on PlayStation, then they released another version on Saturn that used the MPEG card, and I think that may have incorporated the PS1 changes. I think there's a few minor changes between the Saturn and PS1 version, but don't quote me on that. I know there's the Saturn Complete version with the MPEG has better quality FMV, and I do actually need to pick up a copy of that at some point, but I don't yet have an MPEG card for the Saturn, so... Well, no, we have an MPEG card. We only have one for a PAL Sega Saturn, and the PAL Sega Saturn MPEG cards do not work with the Japanese NTSC games. They only work with the PAL discs. So you have to actually need an NTSC card. And you actually need to have an NTSC card and NTSC machine. We actually found out that the PAL card will not run an NTSC machine. You need the relevant matching. In fact, the PAL card we've got is a Model 1 version. It will not run in a Model 2 Saturn either. PAL Model 2. It needs to be run in a PAL Model 1. Scout's Honor. Oh yes, 4Kids, yes. Don't remind me of the Naruto dub. I absolutely loathe that Naruto. Gosh, and snacks. So yes, there's Ramus. What's up with Ramus? Always deciding everything myself without a second thought. For some reason, the cutscenes add a slight edging to it, I think, don't they? And then when you take out, you then get full screen. Just walking around. So I've got access to the inventory. Change equipment, save, load. Just quickly save, just in case anything horrible happens. I'll sort of overwrite the previous game I had. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, some dubs are good. Naruto, actually, weirdly, I'm not a big fan. I've actually read the Naruto manga, and I'm not a big fan of the Naruto anime, even in Japanese or English. In fact, ironically, the filler episodes of Naruto I actually find better because they muck with the main story so much from the actual manga book that I loathe the changes they did and much prefer the filler original episodes to the actual time they're trying to translate the story, because I just felt they just missed the impact of the main thing. So the Naruto anime is one of those ones I actually don't like the actual main arcs in the anime. I much prefer the way they've done them in the books. Oh, it's a monument to his achievement, so it's not actually his grave. So here's your house, as Alex. Besides the center. Yeah, I didn't realise about the GBA version, so they basically stripped out the animated intros, which the humour, yeah, that it makes you sort of devoid of. I think there's one or two humour jokes that aren't wellly put in, but that you do. It's nice to have humour at certain points. Is this going to be our room? Okay, so is this our room? Do you notice in the earlier cutscene we both went into Lunar's room? There's always a weird thing. Mission first, as you can say the same. There's always a... Yeah, the Pokemon. I mean, the soundtrack for this is absolutely fantastic. Now, there's always a thing about RPG houses that really annoys me. So, oh, there are the parent beds. So the parent beds are there. I was going to say, often you have a case where you'll have like multiple people living in the house and there'll only be like one bed, which is a really annoying continuity error in any RPG game. And it's quite a common occurrence for like the amount of residents in a house not to equate to the number of beds there. Like some of them sleep on the floor or literally never sleep at all. There's funny things like that always drive. Yeah, because working design... I think because the Lunar on the Sega CD was like working design's first project, so it was like the first major one. Got antidote. Got antidote. That's an odd sound effect for opening the chest. That sounds almost like you're searching a computer terminal or something. See if I can actually... Can I move faster by holding a button? Oh, so exceed. That's an interesting way to do it. I'm not totally convinced by working design's humour, so I would have preferred they'd kept closer to the original Japanese translation, if I'm being honest, because working design, I can appreciate that I suppose working design, some of working design's humour was not very good. In fact, I'm aware of a couple of bits in some of the working design dialogue that would no longer be releasable. Though I remember in Dragon Force there was one particular line that was quite offensive, and that was added in. I believe that was a working design line. It might not have been. It could have been an original Sega line, but I was surprised it was translated the way it was. I think so. Exceed then did for this one kept something similar to the working design translation. Because working design translations are a bit controversial these days, I think, on some games. But I think maybe people are still glad they released them. So I'm one of these RPG tears that likes to talk to everyone before I start running off to the story location. Apparently slept in the kitchen. Yeah, exactly, Cher, that's it. So this is Ramirez's. Oh, can we steal from Ramirez's house? Yeah, another fact is the fact that so many RPG games you can just walk into someone's house and just, oh, I'll just take this item from this chest or something and not get nicked for theft. Baldur's Gate was quite good. That had a bit of a joke on that. It's an interesting one. I probably would prefer a closer Japanese translation, but I do agree that there needs to sometimes be a bit of humour, because this is, certainly from this presentation, it doesn't seem like it's a super serious one, so you want something, because you've got the pet psychic anyway character, so... And he's designed to be a bit cute, so you probably want a little bit of humour. I just think there's the right time to inject those jokes. Such as the bit when when the girl... Although I didn't think the joke about... when he landed on her was quite the right joke. There definitely need to be a joke when she landed on him and the other character in the opening scene. There definitely needed to be a joke there. Just end up flat on his back. The one thing's a bit weird, when you talk to people, it just slightly brings in the edgings. I'm not sure why they did that. Aren't you Oro's son, Alex? So Oro is your father. And I'll have to see what the GBA version's like, but yeah, I can imagine the fact you don't have the CD music, it's going to be a real disadvantage. And the GBA wasn't known for having very good sound. Hey, look at me, I learnt a magic spell. Boom Shalaka. Yeah, it seems a bit weird. Yeah, it's a bit weird, that letterboxing. I don't see why they do it. Okay, so there we probably do actually have quite a good line with a joke with the fact that he's doing an earthquake spell. And again, you probably have got a slight line for a dialogue here with the fact you get that slightly... Oh, he's actually got multiple dialogue lines. And yank on my wing. So yeah, there's definitely... Okay, so I actually need to talk to every character twice in this one. Well, in fact, the little girl there, had multiple dialogue lines. Now, this is the hallmark of a... Okay, that was a bit... Trying to get out of there was actually a bit... So that's the hallmark of a Grandia RPG, the fact NPCs have multiple dialogues when you chat to them in a row. That was a game arts thing, which is nice because it means you have a lot of dialogue. Too much trouble, so yeah, we've got plenty of... They're all quite derogatory about Ramus. Yeah, the original Grandia, which Game Arts also did, and I said Grandia's sort of Grandia's really the successive sequel to the Lunar series. I mean, that did actually have quite a lot of jokes in the story as well. There's some really funny moments in Grandia. That also had lots of dialogue. You could talk to the NPCs multiple times, so it gave you a sense of actual conversations. Oh, really? He's... Hey, no. Also, Ramus is not the most likable character, is he? Grandia actually is a really good selection of characters, so I really... Okay, let's go chat. I think there's enough dialogue.
Well, Alex, looks like you're late again, silly. Were you idling the morning away at Dine's monument again? Or were you busy planning another escapade with Ramus?
I take it when you mean by leaves you, Naiko, that basically did he get up to stay with you for a bit of the story and then run off and basically take all the gear he had equipped with him at the time? Because is he a bit like Sue from Grandia, who's with you for the whole first disc of the game and then leaves after a set point, and then she has to leave at the end of the first disc, which is a bit of a sad moment actually, because she's with you for the whole of the first disc and then you lose her. Yikes! It's the dragon! Because game arts are quite do, like in the certainly the original Grandia, you actually had quite a few characters join and then leave, which actually got quite irritating. In the first disc, you pretty much had Sue and Gadawan for most of your journey, and in fact, I think Gadawan joined you for a bit in the second disc. Or maybe he left you at the end of the first as well. Basically, you had the four, and then after that, you kept changing and chopping characters as you went along, which is a nice thing, but it meant only Justin and Lena were... No, Justin and Fina were in... Lena was Fina's sister. Are the two main playable characters throughout the whole of the game. So you keep getting party members change. So except I'm coming with you. But, Now, this is why RPGs are such a nightmare to localize, and if you're doing translation testing, which I have actually tested on an RPG, so that roar is probably a state change, and I'm guessing when I talk to this NPC, she's going to mention that roar now. As you see, we've had what I call as a trigger. Basically, it's a trigger change or a state changing game. So dialogue now changes. I can tell you now, it's a nightmare when you have to do an RPG, and the Japanese developers don't tell you where all the state changes are in game. As I found out on Spectro's Origins, where we suddenly went back to one planet and discovered that if you revisited the older planets at set points, some of the other the older previous planets would change their NPCs, would change their dialogue, and that was a fun time. Well, you can call it flag. It's actually a trigger point, or a state change. You call them flags, yeah. Professionally, there would be state changes or triggers. You affect because there literally are triggers in games that set change values. So we've got another stage. Yes, and Lunar's song sounds very familiar to Athena's one, doesn't it? Okay, so these guys might not have had a state change. Yep, so they've not actually had a state change. They're still pre-house dialogue. Or pre-Lunar song. But these guys in the village have changed. It's interesting to see. Okay, so he hasn't, but different people do have. So this would be even more thing, because that means you've got to know who's changed. Okay, so there we go. There's a nod that Dying passed away 15 years ago. Actually, let's go to the mayor's house, because I'm sure here... Yeah, I occasionally hear the term flag. I wouldn't call it flag. Mainly it's more in... I normally hear the term trigger more, actually, industry-wise. Certainly all the level editors tend to use the term trigger as well. See if Ramira says something different. So you can say anything, but still not very okay. So he's not even acknowledging Lunar's there, so... But if he's a bad character in an RPG, he might be like Samson in... what's it called on the PS1? Beyond the Beyond, which is actually, I was quite enjoying that. Apparently Samsung is a character who's cursed in the game, and I got to him actually being cursed. Apparently when you uncurse him, he's nowhere near as good as what he was pre-curse, so... There are a few RPGs where they tend to get the characters, so... Got sling. So Dad's just like, yeah, take this stuff and go explore. Yeah, I actually regard it as a sign of bad RPG character development if a character is inferior. If you have characters who are inferior to others, that's the sign someone hasn't done their balancing correctly in an RPG. That should never happen. Each character should always excel at something or do something different to some of the others. She's got the sling. No. The fact was to put the... Often it's a good idea... Well, she's 19, so in terms of damage. Actually, I quite mean to do Beyond the Beyond. I quite enjoyed the start of it, because I'm a huge fan of Camelot Software's Planning's games. Although I admit, the start of Beyond the Beyond was pretty terrible. I also need to sort out a new RGB lead for our PS1. So I'll just see, can I equip Ramus with anything? So stew pot lid, peasant's clothes, and a knife. How much gold do we have? We have. So despite the fact he said Ramus would bring along 300 gold, he hasn't actually given us any gold. Let's talk to his parents again. Okay, quit your lollygagging, he tells his son. That's an oh. He does come across as a little bit spoilt, Ramus. And perhaps a little bit self-centered. Still, he can't be any more unlikable than Squirrel in Final Fantasy VIII. Squirrel in Final Fantasy VIII and the character from Far Cry 3. I'll just quickly actually go and nip into the menu and save. But the character from Far Cry 3 and Squirrel from Final Fantasy VIII are two of the most unlikable lead characters I've ever played as, where I really couldn't care what happened to them. I understand The Last of Us 2's got that problem as well. So we can actually go to we go to the White Dragon Cave. I said Squirrel. Just to see, can we go into the cave yet? So here we go with the white. Now this is a serious load of ice. It looks like all the paths end here. Just using the fire ring. Hopefully you're all enjoying the stream, guys. Appreciate the likes as well. Apologies it's taking a bit slow till we get into the action. But this is obviously a little bit of a slow RPG to get started. So it's quite a nice looking one though. I do like the anime intros in this. They are very well done. Now, can I search? It's just a sparkle there. And the music is very good. Quite bright and cheery as well. Okay, so this is going to be like Grandia then, where you encounter the enemies on the map and attack them. Or more specifically, Grandia takes the combat system from Lunar. Although Grandia has the active time. Oh, this music sounds so much like Grandia. Yeah, I know, most RPGs usually take an hour or two to get going. Hence why we haven't necessarily covered that many on the channel, because I think outside of a few of them, like the Shining Force games tend to get into stuff really quickly. A lot of them are just so slow that you just literally the first half hour. Because that's when we don't tend to do normal gameplay videos, although you have to I'd have to be off to jump as I did with, well, I did do a gameplay with Beyond the Beyond and I actually cut it into a later section because the opening start of Beyond the Beyond is really bland. Keep an eye on my character's health actually. Ooh, he's taking a bit of damage. How much? It's already only down to 13 hit. Actually, let's get everyone to attack this thing so we get it out of the way. Okay, so Alex has gained a level up, which is doing pretty tight. Based on the fact they're adventurous, this is obviously the first time we've actually managed to fight. Spoiler territory. Yeah, that is the main problem with doing like even if you do like the first. I mean, I was actually quite lucky when we did the video for Mysteria Realm of Lore, because that gets you into the action very quickly. So we were able to, even it took me 2 hours to cover the first 3 battles, but something like this, R is run button, so you can run with the R button. Yeah, you do go fast with the R button. Hopefully everyone else is enjoying it. You do heal up on a level up. Great. Some RPGs heal you, some RPGs don't. Sometimes it's a sort of a mixed bag. Sometimes you get healed up on a level up, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll just get the HP. I always quite like the fact that getting healed up on a level up implies your character's learning something. Music's really good. This is really throwing me back to Grandia, actually, to remind. Of course, it's done by Grandia, as I said, it's done by Game Art as well. Really good music. Yeah, because we covered Record of Lotus War on the channel as well, and that literally runs straight into. Oh, Lunar's down. Ouch. Okay, oh, Lunar can heal. Okay, I need to pay attention to that. It's actually got quite a lot of MP to begin with. You know, they actually have that. I think the Grandia, they have a buzzing sound as well. I actually still need to finish Grandia Extreme and Grandia 3, so I really want to do them both at some point. I was a huge fan of the first game. I enjoyed the second game. Not so much as the original. The second game probably was a bit disappointing for me, and it's still a very good game. But I think the original. I mean, I really enjoyed Grandia, and I really enjoyed the Digital Museum. Okay, thanks for letting me know that, Nico. I saw him revive. Does he do it randomly, or is it preset? Do you know? I should just try single AI, so I can do AI attacks as well. I think for now I'll just stick with the attacks and save the MPs for when we need it. I'll probably be heading back home to heal up at some point as well. I'm one of the, as I said before, I'm an RPG player that likes to level. Grandia Digital Museum is effectively, it's a special bonus disc for the Sega Saturn version, but it's a standalone bonus disc, and effectively it's actually like a mini game that occurs after the main game. In that effectively, it's a museum that has all the art and exhibitions of the game. All the exhibitions have been stolen, and you have to go through 4 dungeons and get all the exhibits back. And so finding all the exhibits is actually quite tricky in a few of the dungeons, but it does have some really great mini games in it. It's got some exclusive content that wasn't in the original Grandia. There are 4 new dungeons in it. There's a couple of new bosses. You can actually fight a couple of the previous player characters. You also actually get to fight Baal in human form in Digital Museum, which you don't in the main game. And it also allows you to create saves for the main game as well. So you can listen to all the music, you can watch the movies and all sorts. There's loads of things you can do in it. It's a really nice... you can actually load in your save file as well. And it can also help you create saves for certain points in the game as well. So it's a really nice package. I highly recommend it. If you're a Grandia 1 fan, you can redo all the mini games as well. There's like a mini arcade. There's the eating contest one. You can actually unlock all the player characters in it because I've unlocked it. I should, if you want to see it, Nico, I can always actually cover it on this channel. So you can dig up my save file, though I can't really go through any of the dungeons. I've already killed all the bosses in them. But Digital Museum's a really, really nice package, and it's a really nice... Hi 8-bit SNK boy, thanks for joining the stream. I should say, guys, because I know you guys are always here, it's always great to see. At the minute, it's always about 30 seconds delay between when I see the chat window, when it actually appears in the actual video, because I've got it on... like high quality, so it buffers it, so it puts in a slight delay. Cher was on earlier. I don't know if she's just watching today or whether she's had to run off. Ah, you've also played Digital Museum. That's great. Yeah, it's a really, really good follow-up. Yeah, I really enjoyed playing through Digital Museum. And it's so... there's not much... really not a lot on it. A lot of people don't realise what a nice package it is. Because it's effectively like an extension of the main game, on top of the fact you can view like all the art and everything. Okay, let's just do a sword dance. Just song heal on. Yeah, I highly recommend the Digital Museum. Yeah, I highly recommend Digital Museum. It is a fantastic... it's really quite a bit of a hidden gem because you don't get that many people talk about it, but it's such a nice package. And it adds in, if you're a fan of the original Grandia, it does add in 4 additional battle areas. Like I said, a couple of new bosses. Most of the enemies are all repeated from the main game, but there are a few new enemies. One of the boss battles is actually a battle with a couple of Europe. So basically in Digital Museum, it's Sue... the only 3 player characters have a Sue, Justin and Fenra. The others actually all appear in it, but a couple of them you actually have to battle. But as you explore and get the exhibits back, you can then see more stuff as you go along. So initially, all the exhibits in the museum are like broken and not working or missing stuff, and you have to go around and find them. Yeah, I did it so many years ago. I didn't have a guide. I just literally had to... I just ended up literally... because I enjoyed the first Grandia, I just literally played it on a whim and managed to unlock everything. I think there's like one additional hidden boss, like some hidden door or something that I might have missed. I need to check and go back. Because I think there were a couple of like doors you couldn't open in a few of the dungeons until after you'd beaten some of the other bosses, because you get like keys and things. There isn't really a perfect guide to it though, from what I remember, but it's really, really good. I don't believe it's going to be... I don't believe it's been no one's on a fan translation patch, so there hasn't been any guides or anything yet. I don't know if and when anyone will do a translation patch.
Don't give up!
Yeah, because initially it's not clear. You might, the name Digital Museum, you might get the impression it's just like a graphics novel or something. It's not. It's a complete expansion to. It's effectively an expansion to the original Grandia. But it's, I suppose, it's basically a combat expansion where you can view things like artwork and stuff. Although you have to unlock it all and find it in game because the premise is Lilith has brought you there to look at, to basically get the exhibits back for the museum. Yeah, I use a lot of guides from Game FAQs, which is probably about the best guide site out there, but even that's still, some of the guides are still, like, you could get games that still don't have decent guides in like 10 years, and the most recentest guide was 10 years ago. And YouTube video guides, you would expect, there aren't really that many really good video guides channels. There's one guy who I actually subscribe to, a guy called Ryan, who does the RPG Tour Bus. He does some really, really good guides, but in order to actually do the quality of guides, it just takes ages. And then you end up with having like 15 like 30 videos. Oh, Cher's still here, that's great to see. Yeah, there's still a few Saturn imports I would like to pick up. We have tried to get most of the sort of big titles. There's some really good hidden gems on it as well still, the import-wise. But for quite a few of the good games you do need to know Japanese for. Or, I mean, I'm an RPG fan, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, even some of the video guides, so I did Destiny 2 recently, and I can tell you now, a lot of the video guides on that are rubbish, because a lot of them go out of date very quickly, because they update the game, but they don't update the guides, a lot of people, so you end up with the case of the guide being out of date and not relevant to the current version of the game, which infuriates me, because it means the people doing the video guides aren't paying attention to what's going on in the game. I don't know if some of this music is totally remade or whether some of it's taken from the PS1 Saturn's version. It does look very nice. It does remind me a lot of Grandia. It does play very nice. Yeah, I know what you mean, Nico, because I've seen a few guys like that where it's like where to go next, and they're like, or they'd be like, yeah, go back here and just do this, or I think I did this bit by going here, and then you discover no, actually you go here and do that. But basically you've now done a video guide to that, so if anyone gets stuck, we can just watch your video guide, can't we? And that's what I probably should cover Spectrobe's origins on the channel, seeing it's actually worked on it. I've not yet actually. I will be honest. I've not yet Purely because technically I'd need to declare it, but I've not yet covered any game I've actually worked on the channel. There's one game, a couple of the games I could literally do playthroughs. Yeah, I did the original Grandia with the Sega Saturn Magazine guide, mainly. There were a few mistakes in the Sega Saturn Magazine guide, and it wasn't finished either, which was irritating. They get to a point and go, oh yeah, just finish it from here, and actually the guide wasn't quite finished, and they missed out on a few of the secret locations. But I can tell you now, Grandia 1 is such a huge game. It is a phenomenally good game, but it's massive. But everyone I know said the Grandia series is probably diminishing returns. Each game is worse than the last. Which is a shame, because the original game was such a phenomenal game, I think they couldn't quite live up to. I really enjoyed that game. I really enjoyed the original Grandia. But the second game was decent. I was a bit disappointed in many ways about the second game, actually. You know what, let's do an area effect attack. Does she actually have some area? Divine Healing Melody? Okay, let's just get an attack. So what's... He's got no... So Ramus has no skills or anything. He just attack. Was it you, Nico, who said you'd finished Extreme? Because someone on one of the streams we had actually said they finished Extreme, and they said it took like nearly 100 hours to do because of all the additional bosses. So Extreme doesn't have much story, but it's just basically lots and lots of battles. So I think Extreme's like a really good fight-em-up RPG. Now, I don't mind that too much because I like RPG battles, so I think I would probably enjoy Street. But I can appreciate why some people wouldn't. See, what I played... Yeah, you see, I played the start of Extreme, and I really liked Extreme. Extreme plays better than the start of Grandia 3. Grandia 3, by all accounts, is totally unfinished from what I understand. Although it looks quite promising to start Grandia 3. But I know Grandia 3, I think, had a bit of a troubled development, sadly. And I doubt we'll see another Grandia game, as the main developer behind them sadly passed away. In fact, he was one of the main developers of the Lunar series. I can't quite think of his name off the top of my head, but he sadly passed a couple of years back, which is a real tragedy. Because I think Grandia, the original Lunar and Grandia are two of the best. I mean, they really deserve some... they should have been award-winning titles. Probably should cast heal. So the Lunar series has two main installments, Lunar 1 and Lunar 2, and they've been remade. Okay, so we're back to the bottom. Yeah, I'm definitely someone who goes for the extra dungeons. I don't regard I finished a game till I've got everything. is still grudging me the fact that I haven't done that bonus boss against Albert Odyssey. So there's a couple of games I'm like, I really want to get that done. Yeah, no, I quite like the start of Extreme, so... Oh, you've got the complete 8-bit SNK, boy. You've got the MPEG version, I take it. Do you know if that has any differences over the original version? Because I'm aware that that was released quite a while later, so I'm aware that it might have had a few gameplay balances, the complete version. I've got Lunar 1 and Lunar 2 on Saturn, so they will be covered, but I don't have the complete version, which was the MPEG version. I've just got the standard release of Lunar. Oh, so you're kind of... is it one of those games where you finish the game but you're like, yeah, we still need to do all this extra stuff? That's cool. Dragon's Crown technically does that as well. So Dragon's Crown is... no, Nico, if you actually look, there's two releases of... there's two releases of Lunar Silver Star Story on the Sega Saturn. There's Lunar Silver Star Story, which is the original release, as I said earlier, and Lunar Silver Star Story Complete, which is the MPEG version. It's actually subtitled Complete. Because the MPEG version is basically subtitled Complete. I think the PS1 version's called Complete. I don't believe the original Saturn's version was called Complete. It's only the PS1 and the Saturn MPEG version, which is, I don't have the MPEG version, so high quality MPEG. Yeah, I was a couple people mentioned them. There were some additional balance tweaks. So, but I don't think it's one of those subjects that basically I think it's so niche that unless literally someone like me got the two versions and compared them side by side, you wouldn't know. Right, do we think I've killed enough monsters to head to where we're supposed to be going? So Alex is level 5. That's not really a good level to get up to. Let's beat the last of the monsters in this area. Check my health. The reason I think it was slightly more than just the MPEG is it's actually quite a long to play the game, otherwise it won't even load. Yeah, I actually need to get... one of the things I'm looking at some point is getting a Japanese Saturn with an MPEG card, because we currently only have a PAL modified one, and seeing as I know that runs at just a fraction of a second, a fraction of a hundredth of a second off the NTSC unit, I do want to pick up an NTSC unit for capture. But I want to get one with an MPEG card, so that will be something we will add to the channel at some point. And that way I can actually show the difference between a PAL modified console and an NTSC console. So that's something I do want to do, because it'd be interesting to see the slight differences in terms of speed. See if there is much of a difference. because it's one of the reasons I haven't actually ever done any videos of Tenkyo Mahjong 4th the Apocalypse, because we've got a power modified one. The opening intro stutters like crazy as a result. Yeah, because you've got a Japanese Saturn, Naiko, so Tenkyo Mahjong 4th the Apocalypse plays perfectly. On our power modified one, if you run it, the FMV intros will occasionally stutter, and that's an issue of it not being true 60 Hz. They'll run, but you'll get a weird stutter in them, which isn't ideal. So, and it's something I do want to do. It means that if you run a true set, I believe, if you do, it's something to do with the crystals inside, that the frequency is slightly off. If you run a power modified Saturn next to an NTSC genuine unit, the power modified second is like one frame, like it's like a frame behind an NTSC, like a single frame or something, or like I think it's like half a frame behind or something, and over time that will build up. So in something like a racing game, the timer, the NTSC version will actually be, the true NTSC will be slightly ahead. So I do actually want to get... intro, Naiko, can I ask, do you use an action replay, or is yours modified to play? Yeah, they do have issues in... I mean, the only issue really is a stutter bug. It only occurs on a couple of games with very unique syncing, so... We never had any issues running any games, but that Albert Odyssey issue that we had the first time we played it, where I couldn't start it, that I believe was a power modified issue. Or it took me about 4 attempts to start it, I should say. Oh, you're using a pseudo Saturn cart. Ah. So our PAL SAT has been modified. It hasn't got a mod chip in it. It has a 50-60 Hz switch and a region switcher. And that's been put into the back of the cart. And that actually is a full region switcher. So that has every single region from Australia, Hong Kong, Japan, USA. Basically that covers every single Saturn region. So it's got about 20 different colours, like A to F and about 1 to 0 for all the regions. Because I've seen some people with region mods, and literally they've done a switcher. It's like US and Japan. And I'm like, no, you don't want to do that. You want a full region switch. But yeah, so technically ours isn't. Technically ours is not actually modified. It's just a switch is added. So technically it's modified, but it's not modified via a mod chip, if I'm being exact. Yeah, it could be a Model 2 issue though, although it's a weird issue. It only occurs right at the start of the game, where sometimes it will loop, but yeah, it could be a Model 2 issue. Basically, I think it's a sync issue, so sometimes it will run through and start the game fine. Sometimes after the opening cutscene, the dialogue will loop in the opening sequence. What is this place? It's absolutely incredible. Liking the music. I must admit, I do really like the artwork for the character art. That's really well done there, the full. And it's much better quality than some of the other more modern games that have it. Often they're very static images, whereas here you've got all the expressions and you've got different pictures for each of the character. Grandia did it as well, and it's just such a quality. In fact, you've got so much hand-drawn art, and it is really a credit to the original developers.
Who dares disturb my peaceful slumber? It has been quite a long time since I last laid eyes on one of your kind. I am Quark, master of this secluded place. So tell me, what business do you have here today with this ancient old dragon, my fine young adventurers?
Yeah, that sounds like the same type of switch we've got. We've got a full region switch, which allows you to, as I said, go through covers basically A to F and 0 to 1 if you press it in a tab switch thing. So yeah, and again, it's in the cart. So basically, it's a rotationary switch, and ours is also in the back of the cart slot. So it's really professionally done. It was actually done by a guy at a place called Megamix. They were down in Kent somewhere. The guy was a really good modder. I don't know they're still in business because this was in the 90s. We had ours modded. Or early 2000s, I should say. Very early 2000s. Lunar, was it? My memory does not elude me after all these years. Such was the name of... Yeah, it's the same thing, 8-bit SDK boy. Yeah, that's exactly the mod we've got, as you describe it. Yeah, I think as we're discovering with our PAL Hertz list, a lot more games are optimized than what we originally expected. In fact, by the time we finished our second pass, and I do need to do a full, should do a video or actually just look at some of the games and the optimization. I think by the end, I suspect over half the PAL Saturn library we're going to discover as some form of PAL optimization at 50 Hz. But all the RPGs got US's releases, so in fact, I think most of the important games did get US releases. There are a few PAL exclusives, but I can't say I think you're missing much, Naiko, so unless you're desperate to play the PAL version of Atlantis. Yes, so that's actually his dragon die. Again, that's not the right use of the word bear, but could be it's an American use. They may have only got the one spelling. I need to check that actually does. Oh, we're up to the 2 hour mark. I've got to see if I can get this dragon diamond before I finish the stream tonight, so... I wonder if I should head back to the village and see if I can buy some better gear, or no, should I just push ahead? Do really like... Yeah, in fact, all the PAL exclusive games I can think of, I think you're right, I think every one of them had PS1 ports. Only Trash It! I don't think Trash It had a PS1 port, and Trash It is just... Trash It is, ironically, the name sums up the game, really. It's one of those games I thought this might be quite good fun, and then when I played it, actually, did Trash It get a PS1 port? Okay, push ahead, indeed I will. Let's get to see it's the end of this section. Oh, Trash It did get a PlayStation release, so you can relive the horror on both Sega Saturn and PS1. Yep, GT Interactive did inflict that menace on PlayStation as well. Trash It, if you don't know, is a PAL is PAL exclusive on the PS1 as well, I see, according to Game Facts. Game FAQs. Trash It. Oh, it's developed by Rage. Oh, no wonder. And it's rubbish. Quite literally, it should be Trash It. Basically, trash the game. It's terrible. And the other one is looks terrible. Yeah, the other one is Formula Karts, which also got a PS1 release, and I can't imagine you're much of a racing game fan, Naiko. Do you play that many racing games? Because in fact, all the RPGs are... The only one of any note is the PAL translation of Shining the Holy Ark is better than the North American one. So the Sega translation's better than the working design one, but... Shouldn't have too many issues with that 60 Hz either, so... Never played a racing game in your life? Okay, so you're not a racing fan then. Shining Wisdom, yes, Shining Wisdom. That had a redone translation in the PAL region, which technically uses the official names for the characters, so... Although the problem was that translation's actually slightly rushed, so there are a few bugs with it that... Now, did I just let them get surprised me? Can I use the AG? Yep, I can. Okay, so where actually... So they did Magic Knight's Ray Earth, which was the last working design game. Yes, my pronunciation. Thank you for reminding me of pronunciation faux pas. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think Camelot did not opt. Camelot are one of the few developers that did not optimize their PAL games, because they were a Japanese developer. I think they had little experience. They just never seemed to understand how to optimize. In fact, I don't believe any of their games were ever optimized in the slightest. Although we may find out there is some weird PAL optimization in one of their games, but as far as I've ever seen, none of the games. In fact, a lot of their games didn't even get released in PAL, so... So, yeah, playing the unreleased ones in PlayStation on English. Unless you're a hardcore RPG fan like me. But Lunar, of course, got a... So where is this? I should use the run button more, but where's... I really enjoyed Shining Wisdom as well. I'll tell you why I think some people don't like it, is because it's probably a little bit different to some of the other titles in the Shining series. It's the first and only live-action game they did, which I quite liked. I actually think it's quite a nice little Zelda clone. And I quite like the fact that the Shining series is one of those RPG series that incorporates multiple genres of RPG within it, which makes it really good. So Shining Wisdom's an action game, an actual live-action RPG, like Zelda, Story of 4, basically... those type of RPGs that is basically live action. Shining Force is of course a tactical RPG, which is you take basically like chess, you position your guys, move them around, and of course Shining the Holy Ark and Shining in the Darkness are turn-based, like sort of dungeon crawlers, like they just use the Final Fantasy combat system where enemies take turns to attack. Similar to this actually, this is what I regard as turn-based. Though I will say I'm not a big fan of the games after Shining Force 3. They are a very mixed bag. Yeah, up to all the games the Takahashi brothers worked on, so that's everything up to Shining Force 3, is very good. Now, Shining Force Neo and Shining Force X are actually quite good, but the stories in them are rubbish. When I sat down and played them, the stories muck around with some of the Exa doesn't. Exa is a completely unique story, but Shining Force Neo mucks around with the lore in Shining Force 1 and does it badly. Yeah, Shining the Holy Ark is a phenomenal game. It's got a really dark storyline as well in places. There's some really dark... So, the thing with Shining the Holy Ark is the two major villains basically get away. And then you don't track them down in Shining Force 3 either. And there's a huge spoiler at the end of Shining Force 3 that basically... for want of a better word, almost slaps the player in the face. I'm not going to spoil what it is if you don't know, but if you do Shining the Holy Ark and then you do Shining Force 3, it gives you what I describe as probably one of the greatest twists in gaming history, and that twist has never been continued. Because that twist was instigated by the Takahashi brothers. And unfortunately, Shining Force 3 was also the last game in the Shining Force series that the Takahashi brothers, the creators of the series, actually worked on because they had a bust up with Sega during development. And they subsequently went on to do the Golden Sun games and are now languishing. I mean, this is what I really hate. Camelot Software Planning, some of the greatest RPG studio, one of the greatest game... In fact, they make better tactical RPGs than the Fire Emblem guys. I mean, Intelligent Systems really have been playing catch-up to Shining Force 3 for the past 25... nearly coming up for 20 years now. Still haven't been able to make a better tactical RPG than it. And yet, the Takahashi brothers are now at Camelot is just doing Mario Tennis and golf games, and it really angers me that they're not doing any more RPGs. If I was a developer, I would actually pay them to do an RPG, but alas, well, if I had the money, I should say. Game Arts as well, I'm not sure. Yeah, they start making tennis games now, which is just horrible. And the tennis games aren't that great. They did Everybody's Golf as well. Well, they did the original Everybody's Golf. Yeah, I've got all the... I'm a huge Shining Force fan, so I have all 6 guidebooks and the official Cyclopedia book as well, which is a fantastic book, full. It's just such a lovely book. Yeah, they did the... So, Camelot Software did the original Everybody's Golf on PS1, yeah. What happened was the main developer from it then left to go to Sony and carried on Everybody's Golf on his own. So, basically, they did the original Everybody's Golf, and hence why they then did all the Mario Golf games. But, yeah, they did the original Everybody's Golf. I've never actually played the PS1. Yeah, I never actually played any of the Everybody's Golf games. I need to actually get them. There was one on PS3 that I've never got as well, so I should actually get some of them. Although I think that series has also come to an end now. But yeah, they did the first one, and the developer who worked at Camelot at the time then left to do Sony and carry on the series. Hence why Camelot were doing the Mario Golf games. Yeah, Beyond the Beyond's probably one of their weakest games. some reason you should be using the... I thought there was a PS3 one. There's a PS4 one, okay. Yeah, I do need to get some more. It's a series I know absolutely nothing about, to my shame, so it's one of those series I never actually picked up, and I should grab one at some point. So yes, despite being a huge gamer, there are one or two franchises even I'm not that much aware of. And certainly when it comes to obscure Japanese home PCs like the X600, I know zipper about. Even PC Engine I don't know that much about either, as they're not my forte. Yeah, I was going to say, I definitely knew there was one on the PS3. Because it was quite an early release, everybody's go on the PS3. Okay, Ramus level up, so we're getting quite a few level ups now. And I don't know if you guys saw our Gundam stream. I know Nico was there, but the Gundam stream on Friday, I actually figured out after I played it. So one of the DLCs is actually free to download. So I downloaded that yesterday and got an additional character. But I also discovered the game has an option that allows you to change the BMG. It's SoftBank, the encyclopedia. It's the encyclopedia art book. Because I think it's actually got the premium disc guide in it, the encyclopedia art book. Yeah, SoftBank published it. It's a really lovely thing. I can get... I probably send you a link to it, actually. I think... I'm pretty sure there are quite a few... If you type it, if you search Shining Force 3 encyclopedia/art book, you should get some of the pages come up. Because I know there's a couple of websites had it scanned in. It's a really lovely book. It's one of those guidebooks. No, it's not a guidebook. It has pages for every single player character, all the NPCs. There's actually some art. There's at this front. It's got a load of artwork from Shining Force 3 and Shining the Holy Ark. And it actually covers some of the history of the game. Yeah, you can do, because I checked and you can actually... I have like a couple of soundtracks installed, and I checked and I can change them. So I might get some free music and then actually do a playthrough with audio. No, I checked because I've actually got a couple of soundtracks installed on my PS3, and I checked and I could swap out all the game songs, so I might well do that. The only one I couldn't swap out was the Linkin Park intro, but that's easy enough to mute in a video, so I thought I might then actually do a playthrough video at 4K. Because it's the Gundam Verse series need more coverage. I also realised we did have one of them on the PS4 as well. We've got so there's the Extreme series and the Verse series. We've got Gundam Verse, which was the newest, the original series on PS4. That's really, really good. There's like 120 odd. With DLC, there's about 120 odd Gundam units. I was playing that on the weekend. Yeah. There's also Extreme. Oh, you can do that in Macross 8 Frontiers as well, change the sound. I've got quite a few levels actually in this. Actually, I should save it because I haven't saved it in a while. Yeah, I was looking at getting the Macross Ace Frontiers on PSP. I was also looking at getting it on. It was Macross 30. You said was the RPG one. I'll definitely pick that up in the near future as well. Because there are a few. Certainly, I do need more imports on the PS3 because we'd need to add to the randomised gaming archive. Because there are some really great games on. There are some really good imports like Africa on the PS3 that didn't get power releases. And I know like games like EX Troopers on the PS3. There's quite a few PSP games as well that I need to look up. Yeah, I'm not too fussed if it doesn't have the audio option. I'd just be glad to play it. So there will be some games we won't cover on the channel. At some point we may end up doing videos not on YouTube, so... I would like to do videos for Archive. And I know the Internet Archive does actually do... because there's a good case in point to actually archive proper playthroughs on... proper archive things to show the game fully in action. And it reminds me I should save it after this battle. And hello to everyone else on stream as well. If you're joining us, we are doing Lunar Silver Star Harmony on the PSP, which is the remake. And I actually picked this up digitally last week, so... or was it the week before? But I picked this up a couple of weeks ago. It is available on the PS3 store if you want to pick it up. Or the PS Vita store. Sadly, you can't access the store via the PSP anymore, and they've removed the web store now, so you have to access it from either a PS3 or a PS Vita. You can still download the games via your account management on PSP, but you can't... although I must admit, downloading games on PSP is quite slow. It's actually quicker to download them via the PS3 and transfer them over. PSP is a very slow download speed. So another rule on RPGs, never ever just have one save. Always have a couple of saves. One, because your saves can occasionally... Yeah, Jet Set Radios. I mean, what was the issue? Someone put on fake claims because the music is owned by David Soul, so David Soul has every right to copyright the claims, or was it someone else? Because one of the songs, Yippee Feet, you're not supposed to actually play because the actual girl who did the voiceover didn't allow it to be reused in the remake, so you can't reuse it, else you're going to probably get into a... You're going to have to... It's an art book encyclopedia, 8-bit SNK boy. Ah, let's see if I can get a picture of it. Yeah, if you search Shining Force 3 art book, it's the first one that comes up. It's called called Art Book Encyclopedia. I think probably listed more by art book, but basically if you type in Shining Force 3 art book, it'll bring it up. It's got a picture of It's a white cover like the official SoftBank guide with a picture of all the basically a selection of the characters: Symbius, Julian, Median. You've got Marquis, Hayward, basically all on the front cover. It's a really nice. It's by SoftBank. Yeah, I just typed Shining Force 3 art book in Google and it was the first thing that came up. They even had pages from it. I really enjoyed Jet Set Radio. Yeah, you want to watch out on the song Yippee Feet because that was the one not reissued. In the remake, they had to take it out because the singer didn't allow her vocals, so I would be very cautious about videoing that song in the slightest. And you're going to get, because it's all David Soul did the music, and he's a professional artist, so he's entitled to copyright claim his music. So I put it this way, I just wouldn't. It's one of the reasons we haven't covered Jet Set Radio on the channel, because it's all David Soul's music. I mean, it's a fantastic soundtrack, but there are... I have a feeling one of the versions did let you change out the soundtrack of Jet Set Radio. So I think the official... So there's Dealer Jet Set Radio, which was the final release, which included the American, the Japanese and the European songs. So... And that was a Japanese only release. Basically each region had additional songs, and I know in Europe it's most of the David Soul songs, but there are different songs in America and there are different songs in Japan as well. Do I need one of the apes to charge that? Is that why? Because I thought the biggest... Yeah, the Dealer version on Dreamcast. There's a version called Dealer Jet Set Radio that was a Japanese store release much later. That includes every single soundtrack. Do I need the apes to smash these? It's a bit annoying. I thought the flame ring should just smash them. Yeah, I think it's a trigger, but it's not, because you can't select it in the menu. No, it's equipped, it's just not triggering. Maybe I need... So if I go to View Inventory Equipment, change equipment. So the flame ring is equipped. Maybe if I unequipped it and then re-equipped it, maybe that will trigger. So view magical skills, sword dance. She's got the healing slong. Yeah, I did. You used it before. I think it's almost like when I came in before, it just sort of smashed automatically when I walked up to them. It's a bit of a weird bug. I think this is more a bug. I think the trigger should cause them to smash. So I'm pressing every button. Double tap D-pad analog. So menu square. Circle LR X select start. Nothing. So I can play the accordion. Okay, the guide says you actually. The guide here says you have to use one of the sash squats to break the crystals here. Keep running from battle if it catches you, so that's a bit odd because you're supposed to be able to use the fire ring. Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. You have to make the monkey smash into it. Well, it's actually a sash squat smash into it. Yeah, I thought it was to use the ring issue, but it's actually the guide's actually saying use the monkey. In the last one I had, I actually used one of them, but the Yeti smashed into it. Right, so basically I've got to get one of these things too. Yeah. Okay, but dodgems there, and there we go. We've got the ring. Let's see, how many can I avoid before... Can I avoid... I've done enough battles now. I'm going to see how many I can avoid before I get to the exit. Okay, I'm not going to be able to avoid that chat. Oh, I did. So I must admit, overall, very good start to this. As I said, I probably slightly prefer the original look of Lunar, but this is a fantastic update. I mean, it's done by Game Arts, and Game Arts did know how to make some great games. It plays really well, it's very fast. Okay, I'll have a scan with that one. I think I've managed to get the best out of the PS2 though. Certainly using it to capture PS1 games, you've had some great results. Oh, can I get there? Yeah, avoid the crystal. Thanks for the like, guys. Right, I'm going to just chat to the dragon, and then we'll let this part of the story play out, and then I'm going to wrap up. Yeah, from my experience, a long video means you cover a lot of content. I mean, that's the thing. Some of our videos, they were quite long, but it means you just cover everything. Like our HDMI review of the GameCube adapter, that took me ages, but at least that way I covered everything. So if anyone watches it, it pretty much covers any questions they've got in the video. Seek my brothers, the red, blue, and black dragon, overcome all of their trials and then return to me. Once you have fulfilled this task, a new dragon master shall be born unto this world. Yeah, I need to update. I would love to do an update to that. I need to actually do more Hertz guides. I just haven't had the time to do them, actually. Ironically, because I've been streaming, that's taken up the time I normally use to do videos, so... Picked up a copy of the artbook. That's nice. No, I think 60 quid's probably a bit expensive, though, but glad you managed to pick up a copy. Although I know it's not that common these days, and I suppose it is a 20-year-old book. It is a really nice book. It's let me see how big it is. It's about 200 pages long, so it's just got some fantastic artwork in it. It's a really nice book, and because it does cover the premium disc. It's got artwork of Shining. It's got a bit of Shining the Holy Ark artwork as well, and it covers it. It's just a really nice sort of encyclopedia. And it's got pages for all the playable characters with some beautiful artwork. Ah, crap, I just realised I had the stream switched off for a second. So thank you, everyone. I'm actually going to wrap it up there. So I'll say thank you to 8-Bit SNK Boy, Nico, and Share. Thank you for joining the stream. Thanks for all the likes, guys. Very much appreciated. It has been a pleasure. I will finish it here. This has been Lunar Silver Star Harmony, or Silver Star Story Harmony. I think it's got a slightly different name in Japan. I think they put Harmony Silver Star Story. Basically, it's the second remake of the original Lunar. It's actually a very good game. Wonderful music. Really some great 2D visuals, so very good looking. Although I probably prefer the look of the Saturn's version, this is clearly a well done, high quality product. So it is available at retail in Japan and the US. It's available digitally in all regions, so this is actually a digital version I picked up in Europe. It's not available at retail in Europe. It never got a retail release, but it did get a digital release. And yes, I do highly recommend that Shining Force 3 art book encyclopedia. It's very good. I think I paid about 30 for it, but then I've had mine for a good 10 years now, I think. So, and it is a really, really lovely book. So it's got like maps and all the maps of the world as well in it. So it's a really lovely book detailing the history of Shining Force 3 and detailing all the various bits in it. And it details, I don't know if it detailed a bit. It's got like sort of all this encyclopedia of all the races. It's a really nice sort of all the gene structure in the races, and so it shows you like the Cantals and the Centaurs. It's a really, really well done. I wish art books and encyclopedias were all done like that for video games. Fantastic. But I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone. Yeah, don't know if Cher's still on. She has been lurking a bit tonight, but thanks to everyone, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there. Highly recommend this. So I'm going to wish you, this was, as I said, Lunar Silver Star Stories by Game Arts. So I will wish you a good night, a good evening, good afternoon, or a good morning wherever you are in the world. That's it from me, Random Gamer Ribbon, on behalf of Randomised Gaming. I'll be back to stream tomorrow. I might stick with the PSP, or I might do something a bit different. I haven't quite decided. I probably won't be doing any more RPGs this week, that's for sure. I think after doing this one, it's a really nice game though. No, I don't want to quit just yet. I will just leave that there. But thank you all, everyone, and I will see you all in tomorrow's stream. And we might have a video up tomorrow as well, or Wednesday. I've got one of Super Stardust HD, and I do mean to do a couple of playthroughs, so I should get a video done on Splatterhouse 3, seeing as we covered it. And I do want to do Sonic R playthrough as well, seeing as we did one previously on... So we did one previously in the stream, but do a full updated to 4K. So thanks, guys. Hope you have a good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.